Welcome to the Talk Chamber, a production of the Greater Memphis Chamber. I'm your host, Taylor Ann Carpenter. The Talk Chamber is the podcast for the latest on the Chamber, economic development, and all things Memphis. And we are so glad that you're joining us today. On today's episode, we have the incredible Amy Daniels, the Chief Communications Officer here at the Greater Memphis Chamber, also known as my incredible boss.
Oh,
Amy, thank you so much for coming on.
thanks, Taylor Ann, for having me.
So I just wanted to start off and hear your story. How did you end up at the Chamber?
So I am one of the longest tenured employees here at the Chamber. I've been here for 29 years. It was my first job out of college, Christian Brothers University. Huge shout out to y'all. I had a degree in English and minored in political science and French. Thought I was going to go to law school. Thought I wanted to leave Memphis to go to said law school. And a friend was interning actually here at the Chamber. And she said, hey, there's an opening on the communications team. And I said, that's great, but they need to understand I'm only going to be here for a year. So I came in, I talked to the person that was over communications, Alan Hester, who has departed this world. And he talked to me a little bit about what I would be doing. And I suddenly realized I would actually be using my English degree. I would actually be writing. I would actually be proofreading. I would be editing. And then I was introduced to working with the media, and I just fell in love with all of that. To top it off, writing and supporting and telling the Memphis story, it felt right.
So what is it that has prompted you to stay at the Chamber this long? And what is it that, has kept you here, kept you in Memphis?
So as I often tell people, I'm probably the worst kind of human you could know. I'm Italian and Texan. Italian, extremely loyal. I look at my parents, I look at my brother, and they all have been dedicated and stayed in a job for a very long time. My dad worked for Kraft Food Ingredients, macaroni and cheese, paid for my college education.
I love macaroni and cheese.
Me too. And I ate it with a spoon, not a fork. Anyways, and they did that. It's where they would lay their roots and they would develop in it. And I think I just come by it naturally. My mom was a teacher, same thing. After 40 years, she retired. And then I'm watching my brother and I both do the same thing. We find our niche and we make it where we feel like we need to be. So that's the Italian part. The Texan part is to be extremely proud of where you come from. I am so proud of this city. And it is something that I have no fear to talk about Memphis to anyone, and I will do it. I just need more Memphians to be doing it.
Agreed. And with this time at the Chamber, you've developed all this knowledge and understanding and history with it. You had access to, the past. You are our resident historian of the Chamber.
I know.
How has that, shaped your leadership and how you do your job today?
I think the number one thing that I've learned from so many leaders that I've had the privilege to work for, whether it's Richard Smith at FedEx or Carolyn Hardy, who started numerous companies, just watching her, it's surrounding yourself by incredibly smart people, some that might even be smarter than you, and then learn from them. And it is exhilarating to get in a room with fresh ideas and not be afraid to embrace them and move on them. I think if I got set in my ways and said, no, we're not going to do that because it didn't work before, then we would be in big trouble. But let's talk about you. So this is a prime example, right? Like, we had a dream of a podcast,
right.
Didn't know how we were going to do it. And in walks this young woman, Taylor Ann Carpenter, and she's like, hey, I want to move back to Memphis. I'm looking for a job. This is what I do. And the one thing that stuck out was that you had your own podcast from your closet in your bedroom. And
yes.
I was like, how did you do that? And you're like, well, the clothes really give off good sound vibes and everything. And I said, okay, kid, we're taking a chance. Like, let's figure out how to get you on board. And here you are. And you are producing this podcast that is doing exceptionally well. Thank you to everyone who's downloading and listening to it. And then also to have a young woman's voice represent this 187 plus year old organization. I think just, it's a cool thing. It's a really cool thing.
It's been a really great experience for me. And I'll be honest, I took a class on podcasting. That's how I got my start. I took it for college credit because the other class that they were offering that would meet this requirement sounded really boring. And this one it was called Innovative Storytelling, and it didn't have a great description. And I was like, innovative, that sounds interesting. Let's go with that one. And then all of a sudden it was podcasting. And I just was like, this is so much fun. I have to have my own podcast. And that was just a fun hobby. So never in a million years.
Were you like sitting on your closet floor, like with your clothes? Like that's how
Yep.
I imagine it. You with like your clothes hanging around you.
That's exactly how it was. I should have had my roommates at the time take pictures of me, but I would cram myself into this little college-sized closet, like
Yeah.
you're
Like
in
a dorm room size
yes,
closet. Yeah.
super super small. And I'd have all my hanging clothes surrounding me, and I'd just ease the door shut, and there I am. And I didn't have headphones or anything that really did justice, so I was just kind of blindly doing it. And I just had a little mic and my laptop that I used for school, and I just started recording. And I did that, and I just never thought that I'd actually come into anything. Like I would end up doing anything with it. It was just a fun little hobby that I had, and I was like, I didn't expect anything to come from it.
And now you have a studio that you've basically built in your office, and we're still improving on it. You have a
Yes.
soundproof wall, curtains, and a mic, and you have a sound machine that makes funny noises like that you haven't used on anything. So do at least one right now.
I will. Let me find a good one.
Oh, see? Like we all need more applause. Like that's a good one.
Yeah, I really do love those. I just don't know the best moments for those, because sometimes these conversations, I have incredible guests who are really passionate about what they are talking about, and I'm like, this deserves a round of applause.
And you should do it.
And I feel like it'd be funny sometimes just to, in the middle of them talking,
2026.
hearing all those claps.
One of your KPIs will be at least one sound effect in each podcast.
For everybody listening, there is a million different sound effects, and I can also find my own sound effects or create my own sound effects and add them to this software that we're using. But they have crickets, so beware. There might be an awkward moment that I'll use the crickets on. No, all in good fun. But I want to move into ACL real quick.
Yes, the
This
annual Chairman's Luncheon.
Yes, this is our biggest event of the year. You have a lovely little nickname for it.
Our little talent show.
So tell us, what is ACL?
So the annual Chairman's Luncheon is an opportunity to bring the Memphis business community together. It is the largest gathering of the Memphis business community all year long. We have over 1,000 individuals present in the room. This year it will be December 10th at the Peabody Memphis, and we're sold out. We're at capacity. We sold out mid-August. Didn't even have an opportunity to advertise. So for those of you that are on our waiting list, we are working diligently to try to find some empty seats. But it's purposely designed to be in December before everyone starts going to their holiday parties and mixers. And so that when they're in these settings and people start saying things about Memphis, which we hope are positive, but in case they're not, those individuals that actually attended our annual Chairman's Luncheon can say, you know what, I was just at the Chamber's Luncheon and I just heard about this that was happening in Memphis. And someone else will say something else. And it's a good way to get out some positive messaging while at the same time celebrating the economic development successes over the last year. And this year, obviously, we're also celebrating Chamber of the Year. We are the #1 chamber in the country, which throughout the years, we've had numerous chambers of commerce throughout the country come to our annual chairman's lunch because they hear rumors. Like, what is this really about? Like, you're serving chamber chicken and you're giving away awards. No, this is not an award show. Absolutely not. And we don't serve chicken.
No, we don't.
We have the best desserts by the chefs at the Peabody, and we celebrate all that is happening and all that is good in Memphis. And it's a great celebration for our business members. Some of them take great advantage of it, and they've made statements like, if I attend the luncheon, I see 6 people that I have been wanting to have meetings with, and I either get those meetings set up or we figure out what we're going to do to solve a situation, and it's done. So it's a great use of everyone's time. And we have a house band.
Yes, we do.
The amazing Gary Goen.
Yes. Oh, and so last year, I think I was maybe 4 months into this position.
Yeah.
Had no idea what to expect.
I told you it was not your typical luncheon.
No, it was.
You didn't believe me.
I did not. I was like, okay. I mean, I'm sure it's like a lovely luncheon. Don't really know what to expect, but I just didn't think it was
The
what
show.
it was. It is a show.
I mean, come on. It's kind of like Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour. Like,
Yeah.
when I went to her show, everyone was like, well, what did you think? And I said, I have a lot of respect because it reminded me of ACL.
It is the chamber equivalent of
Taylor
Swift's Eras Tour.
I think so.
And
Shout out to Kate Daniels.
that is her daughter, who also loves Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
For me, it was refreshing to, well, I was just completely shocked, but refreshing to see and hear all these great Memphis stories that we get to share. I mean, last year we talked about rice made here in Memphis, the hot honey chicken rice made by Riviana Foods. Had no idea that was a thing, but it was so incredible to hear that story and like share that with so many other people who also had no idea that was a thing.
Well, and the story is, majority of their employees actually work around their manufacturing facility. And they had a contest on what would be the best flavor for the rice. And so that flavor was created by Memphians, and now it's one of their most popular flavors. They can't keep it on the shelf. We love Riviana.
And who would have known? Who would have thought that was here in Memphis? And then on top of that, it's good food, good people, good music. It's everything that you think Memphis is in one room.
Yeah. So when we originally started out 20-something years ago, Isaac Hayes was our first performer to ever perform at the ACL. And he sang God Bless America. And this was right after 9/11, so it was in December of 2001. And then our keynote speaker was Jerry West, the logo. And that just it was at the Racquet Club of Memphis, for those of you who remember the Racquet Club of Memphis. And it was snowing, and it was probably one of the most magical moments. Again, after 9/11, it was just an opportunity to bring the community together. And we just built off of that. Now it's exactly 90 minutes long. We will have you out by 1 o'clock. And we can have anywhere from 10 to 18 speakers. And none of them get to speak for more than 2 or 3 minutes. And in between, we have video, we have performances. It's extremely fast-paced. And it stays on schedule if only Doug Brown sticks to his script.
That is true. We do keep a tight schedule over there. But even in those 2 or 3 minutes that each speaker gets,
Yeah.
it's always some incredible nugget about Memphis, about the business community, about what's next for us. And as a born and raised Memphian, that is always exciting for me to hear is all that will come for Memphis or has already come for Memphis. And it's a great event to be at.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings me to my next question. How do you think it has changed over the years?
Well, I mean, definitely the no podium policy quickly came into play after maybe year 5. We try to make certain that everyone is comfortable on stage. They're well rehearsed. We actually have a rehearsal, and a shout out to my daughter's dance instructor. Perfect practice makes perfect performance, and that's what I demand from all of our performers, our chairman, in fact. And we just make sure that it's solid, that it's not a wasted time where people are looking at their watches. The greatest testimony after each one, I always stand on the side of the room as you're learning, is to look at my watch and it's like 12:58 and it ends at 1 o'clock. And maybe one or two people leave the room. Everyone else is mesmerized and just watching because they want to know what's going to happen next. And y'all, this is a business luncheon. So to have that is just, I don't know, it's tear jerking for me. It's inspiring, and then at the same time, relief that we've met our goal.
You know, the word that you used a few minutes ago was magical, and that is a phenomenal word to use because it really is just magical in a lot of ways, especially being on the back end and helping plan and coordinate and all of that stuff. It's magical to then see it come to fruition and then see the response of our audience, of our members. They have the exact same excitement that I get when I'm helping. I get excited because I'm like, this is such a great story we're about to share. This is such a great addition to the program. Like, I get excited. But then seeing them also share that same level of excitement is incredible.
One of my most favorite moments was years ago. Kruger Products Inc. had just announced that they were coming to Memphis, and they make all the tissue paper for Walmart. And so we had a box of Kleenex on each table, and it had a little sticker on it, you know, welcome Kruger Products Inc. to Memphis, their investment number, how many people they were employing, whatever. And I honestly, at the beginning of the show, as I refer to it, I see people like, why do they have Kleenex boxes on the table? Like, what is this all about? And then we get to the finale because, oh, yes, there is a finale every year. And out walks Randy Owens, the lead singer from the band, country band Alabama, legendary. And he starts singing the song Angels Among Us, which apparently is a well-known Alabama song. And accompanying him is the St. Jude Children's Choir. So kids that had just recently undergone chemo or were currently undergoing chemo accompanied him. And they all are singing the song. I'm getting goosebumps as I'm telling you this. They're all singing the song Angels Among Us. And darn it, Taylor Ann, if they were not passing those Kleenex boxes around the table, if you could have passed a basket around to raise money for St. Jude at that moment, like they probably would have walked out with millions of dollars. I mean, it just brought the house down. And it was an amazing moment. That, to me, was probably one of the most magical moments.
That's the word I was just about to use. Magical. That sounds like a magical moment.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Now, as we are looking forward to the next couple of weeks and to ACL coming up, are there any moments that you can share with us? Anything that you can have our guests expecting or getting excited for?
Well, what's kind of fun is it truly is the chairman's luncheon, the chairman of the board of directors of the chamber. And our incoming chair is Duncan Williams. And so when we went to have the initial meeting with him, he said two things. He wanted to tell stories that people might not know about Memphis. So we really focused in and honed in on that. Positive stories. And then the other request was he wanted choirs, lots of choirs. So there's your sneak preview.
We've got choirs.
We are going to be lifted up.
Not just any choirs, though.
No.
So you'll have to show up and stay tuned to know what that actually is and what the means.
Yeah. Or check out our social media that day. We will be doing a lot of posting.
Yes, I am excited for everyone to see what is going on. I'm excited for the day, the big day. It's something that we all look forward to around here. I know everybody in the office, when it starts getting to,
September-esque.
I was going to say August-ish.
Yeah, maybe then. Yeah.
People around the office start saying, so do we have a date for ACL yet? What time is it going to be at? It's always at 11:30 to 1. But
Always 11:30 to 1.
But
90 minutes.
we get those questions, and we're still several months out because
Yeah.
we around here get excited, and we know that our members who've been able to attend get excited too. So we get questions pretty early on.
Well, and let me just say this for everyone who's listening. This is on top of the day jobs that the entire team has. We carve out time to focus on the annual chairman's lunch. Unfortunately, it's not just my job or your job. I mean, there are so many other things that we're doing for Memphis throughout the day. And then it's like, oh yeah, ACL. So it's a lot of long hours. Everyone puts heart and soul, love, sweat, and tears, lots of tears, and into it. But I got to tell you, along with the chamber staff members that put this together, and of course, a huge shout out to Duncan Williams, our incoming chair, whoever the chair is, usually puts a lot of time and effort into it as well, is an incredible group of small business owners that produce this show. I think a lot of people don't realize that ACL is on the back of a lot of small businesses. And that's everyone from Jonathan Epstein at Running Pony Productions, who has been with us since Isaac Hayes and Jerry West. So it's fun to watch him watch it grow. And he's our executive producer and does an incredible job. And then you have Dusky Norsworthy and Marley over at Behind the Scenes. And they're celebrating their 25th anniversary, small woman-owned company, production company that I fell in love with. Dusky. We had Condoleezza Rice several years ago come in and speak. And darn if Dusky didn't have a yardstick. And she was like measuring in between each table to make sure that it was exactly a yardstick. And I thought, I want to work with that woman always. And she's been just an incredible partner throughout this whole thing. And then I mentioned Gary Gowen. You know, a musician is a small business owner, and Gary works it, and he leads our house band. He works with us on the music. He works with us on the walkout songs because our speakers all have walkout songs, and laughing again at Richard Smith because we play Batman, even though he likes Marvel comics, he still gets DC. And then, of course, then there is the incredible Peabody Hotel and Doug Brown, who chairs our annual Chairman's Luncheon every year and just makes sure that our needs are met as a membership-based organization and that we're really going to be able to push this out to everyone. Ooh, and a huge shout out also to Nolan's. They come in and help us with sound. We worked with a lot of different companies, and, you know, when people are hanging on every single word, you want to make sure that the old mics are working, and Nolan's make sure that that happens.
The whole team that helps put this together is incredible, and it's a heavy lift.
Yeah.
But seeing our small businesses that are here in Memphis, you know, cultivated here and like right here in our own city, just accomplish this with such poise and precision.
Yeah.
It's another reason to be proud to be a Memphian, because we have so many small businesses that meet that high level and those high expectations that we have.
Yeah. I can't forget our favorite Red Deluxe.
Oh, yes.
Martin and Ben. Like, they are constant inspirations throughout the whole year, but they come in and help us polish the design and the look and the feel.
And then we have Contemporary Media, who helps us with our magazine that we hand out at ACL. They're
celebrating their 50th anniversary this year.
And they're phenomenal. Yeah. And like I said, it's a heavy lift. There's a lot of parts that go into it, and all of our partners and the team here, they're all ready to tackle the problem.
Look, we're going to get ourselves in trouble because I can't forget Alan Phelps and Phelps Security either. So. All right, I'm done. That's our crew. They're all amazing and awesome.
And, you know, it just shows the kind of business community that we have here and the kind of economy that we have and the potential we have.
But again, majority of those are small businesses. And 90% of our membership is small business. So they carry the weight of this show. And I just cannot imagine doing one of these without any of those individuals I just named.
And that's one of my favorite facts that we share around here is that 90% of our membership is a small business because
Yeah.
they are the life that brings our chamber to what it is. They're the reason that we were able to win Chamber of the Year, our business community, our members.
Right.
And 90% of them are small businesses.
I'm going to totally butcher this, and Richard Shaw over at Youth Villages will call me afterwards and tell me, you said it wrong. But I think it was then President Ronald Reagan who said that the lifeblood of the community can be traced back to the strength of their Chamber of Commerce or something like that. And I've never forgotten that there's something, probably because from advocacy to representing the voice of business to watching how the economy works here, like that, I mean, there's a lot in a Chamber of Commerce.
There is. And
that I keep learning about it every day for 29 years.
I mean, something that my colleague Diamond Young said to me one time, probably my first or second week here, was that I will not understand my job for 18 months.
At least.
And then she was like, and probably ever, because you will learn something every single day, whether it's about your job or the organization that we are or that are our members. And she's not wrong. I have learned something every single day, even on the best days, on the busy days, on the slow days, on the bad days. I have learned something about this chamber, about my job, about Memphis.
Well, and it's because of that learning, and I'm going to brag on you again. Taylor Ann was the architect of our Chamber of the Year application. And it's because of her quest to learn about what this chamber does that really brought fresh eyes to everything that we do. And I think that put a lot of excitement into our application. So, well done you.
Thank you. It's truly a team effort, but it was also truly a journey for me because I was still, when we started that idea, when we decided, that was January. So I hadn't even been here 6 months at that point.
I know.
Maybe 4 or 5 at that point. Maybe.
Yeah.
It was very early on. So there was still a whole world that I had not even
touched.
Yes. Dipped a pinky toe in. There was nothing that I knew. And then we get this charge from our CEO, President and CEO, Ted Townsend, to apply. And I'm like, okay, well, let me see what I can do. Let me see what needs to happen. And I just kind of started researching and getting into the qualifications. And then from there, I was like, okay, well, what do we have that meets this qualification? And now all of a sudden I'm knee deep in chamber history and what we do. But it's all things that are exciting that I never knew. And again, born and raised here, you would think I would really know this city and really know what we do. But there's so much here that I had no idea about. So much about our chamber that I had no idea about.
Well, and I think, and I hope that you're seeing this, that anything major that has happened or transpired in this city inevitably has roots or veins or tentacles that come back to the chamber. I mean, I can almost name every single organization that's in this community that they had some sort of start or birth here at the chamber or during one of the board of directors meetings when our directors were talking about, what would be great if we da-da-da. And that to me is just, it's the power and the strength of this organization.
It is. And that is something that I have seen, especially when I have to laugh. I have friends and family, when there's a major announcement in the city that comes up, they'll be talking to me and they'll say, well, did you see in the news? Did you hear about this? I'm like, yes, I did hear about that. They're like, did you have something to do with that?
Yeah.
And I said, well, maybe not me directly, but I might know a couple people who had something to do with that. So it is truly incredible, all the things that we touch and just the partnerships that have come from that have allowed us to be able to do all these different things and have our hand in so many areas.
Yeah. I often tease Kate and others that Kate was under an NDA. Kate, my daughter, was under an NDA since she was in my womb. So,
which, yes. I mean,
my husband the day he asked me, it's like, yes, I'll marry you. Sign this NDA.
Not a prenup, an NDA.
Not a prenup, but an NDA. I need to be able to speak freely at home.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
Yes, and a lot of times I will get the calls with the intention of finding out if I knew about it,
Yeah.
or if we had a hand in it,
Yeah.
or what else I could tell them. I'm like,
Yeah.
here's what I know, which is what everybody else knows.
I got a call last week from a good friend, Pat Mitchell Worley, and over at Stacks, and she's like, the chamber's been quiet lately, and I'm like, yes,
And
and she's like, when y'all are quiet, that means something's going on, and I want to know what's going on. And I'm like, oh, you just wait.
just you wait.
Yes.
I mean, let's just say, even when we're not that quiet, there's still always something
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Something somewhere, whether it's with our economic development team or our workforce
Right.
team,
Right.
somebody's doing something somewhere.
Yeah, and it's not keeping secrets. It's working in a confidential space to allow us to try to bring the best to Memphis.
Yeah.
And so we know we have to keep that confidentiality. It's not, again, it's not secrets or trying to hide anything. It's just let us work this magic and see what we can do for Memphis.
For Memphis, it's, we keep our head down and work hard and try to get
Yeah.
things done. It's not
Yeah.
out of, we want to keep a secret or anything. I mean, first of all, it is standard procedure across
Yeah.
the country, across
Yeah.
chambers, to not share that information for a wide variety of reasons. But
Right.
a lot of times we are, working hard, working diligently.
Yeah.
And so we just are, full force ahead.
I had the privilege of talking to a group of young women a couple of weeks ago at one of the local high schools. And I said to them, like, at first I did an exercise, what would your headline be if you worked for the New York Times and had to write about Memphis 5 years from now? And they said a lot of things, and some of it was surprising. Some of it was very depressing. And so I stopped them and I said, listen, you need to know that there's a group of people that wake up every single day that fight for the city, that fight for the love of Memphis, that will defend it. And that is this Chamber of Commerce. No matter what it takes, we are always for Memphis.
We are. And I love my job here.
Well, good.
I have loved,
We'd like for you to stay for a while.
I have loved every second of it, even on the hard days, even on the long days, and then getting up the next day after one of those longer days and still being excited to come to work and know
Yeah.
that what I'm doing makes Memphis greater. It makes my home greater. This is where
Yeah.
my family is. This is where
Yeah.
my best
We-
relationships are.
This is where we hope someday you'll raise your family.
Maybe one day. And
Being a mom over here.
and it is, yes, I can confidently say that every person on this team has that passion for Memphis.
Passion. Yeah. Which, speaking of the team, my team, I before we end this in my 29 years, y'all, the team that I have right now is probably the strongest we've ever had here at the Chamber from a communications perspective and programming, and everyone that works on this team. Man, I can send a text message at 5 a.m. and one of y'all are going to respond. I can send a message out at 11:30 and one of y'all are going to respond. But what I love is that when funny text messages start happening, that camaraderie really comes out, and it's a lot of fun. But I mean, just everyone, and I want to name all of you because I want everyone to know how amazing Taylor Ann Carpenter is, Courtney Blanchard, Terry Bosby, Diamond Young, Julian Cross, Tunja Lee, and
Patricia McKinney.
how can I forget Patricia McKinney, who oversees our Small Business Council and Women's Business Council. And no matter what any of us have going on in our private lives, and a lot of us have a lot going on, everyone checks that at the door, and they come in and they work for this city.
We're a great team, a close team.
Yeah.
and it's been such a pleasure to work for you and have
Well, thank you.
such a model boss, everybody. Amy is incredible. I cannot.
I also have candy and popcorn in my office, which helps too.
I mean, yes, but even before the candy and the popcorn, even from our first meeting, I was like, man, she's so cool. She's gonna be a great
Aw.
boss.
Organized chaos. That's me.
And I love it most of the time.
Until you bring your spreadsheet in, and then I'm like, oh, I've lost Taylor Ann. She's very organized. Come to the dark side of the chaos.
It has been such a pleasure to work for you and work
Well, good.
on this
Thank
team.
you.
Like I said earlier, I have learned something every day, whether it's about the chamber or about my position,
Yeah.
the comms world.
Yeah.
There's something to learn here, and a lot of it has come from you.
Well, thank you, Taylor Ann.
But I do have one last question for you before we wrap up.
Okay. And I will see if I will answer it as your boss.
So, if you could create a headline for Memphis, what would that be?
Well, do you want me to create it now or for 5 years from now?
Both.
What I would love to see if it were 5 years from now. I mean, this is Amy Daniels, Chief Comms Officer for the Chamber. Her wish and dream is that we have the presence of every major tech company in Memphis, because I truly think that this city deserves it. It deserves the economics that comes with all of that. And we have so much data to support that we could truly pull that off. So that would be my headline. Every major tech company can be found in Memphis.
How cool would that be?
It would be cool. And then I'll retire.
Please don't do that. Amy, it has been such a joy to talk to you.
Taylor Ann Carpenter. May I call you Taylor Ann?
Yes, you can.
You are incredible. And to every younger person that goes in for an interview, share your hopes and dreams, because that's what Taylor Ann did with me. Again, the position wasn't even there, but after I met her, I was like, I'm going to find a position for her. So,
And I'm so thankful you did.
well, thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
How about a sound going out?
Let's find a good
Make
one.
it a good one. There we go. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Talk Chamber. We are so glad you're here. The latest on the Chamber, economic development, and all things Memphis. And we are so glad that you're joining us today. On today's episode, we have the incredible Amy Danielson's officer here at the Greater Memphis Chamber, known as my incredible boss.
Oh,
Amy.
thanks, Taylor Ann, for having me.
So I just wanted to start off and hear your story. How did you end up at the Chamber?
So here at the Chamber, I've been here for 29 years. Christian Brothers University.
If you enjoyed this episode or learned a valuable piece of information, share this episode with a colleague or maybe even a friend. Subscribe to the Talk Chamber to keep up with the latest on the Chamber, economic development, and all things Memphis. Follow us on social media at Memphis Chamber, and we'll see you next time.